We have to convene session at 4:15 so that we can dispense with the witness already. Just a few questions, Silene. Wala pang NFD lahat ng pondong pinag-uusapan natin. Fourth quarter of 2022, the first 3 quarters of 2023 for DepEd and OVP.
Opo, wala pa pong NFD.
So wala pang final decision lahat ng ito.
Opo, tama
Pag
po.
sinabi nyo nag-demand kayo ng restitution, ang ibig sabihin lang naman ito, kinarga nyo na as an unliquidated cash advance yung mga yung mga dinisalaw ninyo.
Opo, tama po.
Yun lang naman po ang ibig sabihin nun, di ba? Hindi naman ibig sabihin, isoli mo, bigay mo yung pera sa akin. Ibig sabihin nun, ilalagay namin yan as unliquidated cash advance during the pendency of the notice of disallowance.
Yes po, kasi may mga remedies pa po sila.
Kasi hindi pa nga final at wala pang NFD.
Opo.
Tama po? Pangalawa, ano po ba pagkakaiba ng disbursement sa transfer? Illegal mag-transfer ng pera ang SDO sa isang non-SDO, pero pwede po ba siya mag-disburse sa isang non-SDO o unbonded na tao?
Hindi din po pwede, hindi rin po niyang ibigay yon sa unbonded na tao.
Recipient na po yun eh.
Yung sa disbursement po niya, opo, hindi banded, pero kung dapat po diretso from the SDO to the recipient of the confidential fund po.
So, ang disbursement pwede sa non-bonded na tao, ang transfer ng pondo sa non-bonded hindi pwede. These are technical terms.
Opo.
Di ba? So, kung ang pinagbigyan ay recipient, pwede yon kahit non-bonded.
Opo, kasi siya na yung talagang recipient nung confidential fund.
And as a final question, Silene, I checked the transcript, which the court took judicial notice of. I would like to ask more eyes to look at it. Hindi ko nakita sa transcript na sinabi ni Gina Acosta na binigay niya kay Lachica lahat for the fourth quarter of 2022 and the first 3 quarters of 2023. Medyo may ganung punto pa si Eduarda. Pero kay Gina Acosta, maliwanag na binigay niya yung 125 ayon sa kanya kay Lachica sa last quarter, pero hindi ganun kaliwanag na yun din ang ginawa niya for the first 3 quarters of 2023. Ano po ba particular yung pinagbasehan yung dokumento nung binanggit niyong dinisalaw namin agad dahil sabi ni Acosta, binigay niya lahat kay Lachica. Hindi ko po makita, baka pwede niyong maituro sa TSN kung saan.
Yun po kasi ang pinanghawakan namin doon, yung general statement niya na yung ginagawa nila is ibinibigay niya kay Colonel Lachica yung confidential fund po.
Pero ang tinutukoy po niya ay yung 2025. Yung general statement po ni Eduarda, yun ang tumutukoy sa confidential fund ng DepEd para sa 3 quarters ng 2023. Pero hindi po pareho yung statement nila ni Gina Acosta na ganun kaliwanag na yun din yung ginawa niya sa first 3 quarters of 2023. Ano po ba yung particular na pinagbasihan niyo? When you say general statement yung pinagbasihan niyo, yung narinig niyo po ba o yung TSN mismo?
Yun nga po, yung naging admission niya na binibigay niya kay Colonel Lachica po.
Kindly listen, Silene, yung narinig mo nung nandun ka o yung TSN mismo?
Yung narinig ko po nung nandun po ako na sinabi niya na binibigay niya kay
Hindi
Colonel
mo
Lachica.
pinagbasihan yung aktual na TSN na marahil mas maliwanag tungkol sa bagay nito.
Opo.
So based lang dun sa narinig mo nung nandun ka.
Opo.
Thank you, Ms. Eileen. Senator Padilla, yes, Senator Padilla, yes, gusto mo maghati na lang kayo? Senator Padilla for a brief interjection and Senator Marcos for a brief interjection to avail of round 1. Then we call it a day. Senator Lapid, kindly proceed, Senator Padilla, while Senator Lapid is thinking about it. No, please proceed.
Kailan, tuloy ko lang. Gusto ko lang sundan kanina, sinabi ko merong 55 alternative na eskwelahan na nagbi-breed ng mga child warriors ang naisara sa Davao Region. Ituloy ko lang, noong August 6, 2024, nagkaroon ng committee hearing ang public order at sinasabi na 102 schools nationwide were identified as recruitment. 11 elementary schools, 34 high schools, 123 college and universities. Doon din sa hearing na yon sinabi na meron 168 track student recruits remain active sa NPA. Ngayon, tanong ko kay Ilian, hindi ba responsibilidad din ito ng Vice President at ng DepEd Secretary ang mga estudyante?
Yung sa anong tawag dito, sa college po, yung DepEd po kasi is hanggang
Sa
high school.
Opo.
Opo.
Opo, yung binanggit ko po kasi kanina, 55 na alternative child recruits. 11 elementary schools. 34 high schools. Ibig pong sabihin, tuloy-tuloy po yun. Magmula elementary, paakyat hanggang college. Yan po ang style ng recruitment. So, sa tingin niyo po ba, sagot pa din ito ng DepEd Secretary at ng Vice President na lumaban na dito sa terorista noong mayor pa lang siya?
No, may.
Oo, hindi. Ma'am, bilis, 42. Kawawa
Just
naman.
yes or no?
Depende pa din po kasi yun sa mandate ng
Oo lang po
agency.
o hindi. Sa palagay niyo po ba? O sige, skip na po natin kung ayaw niyo sagutin. Alam niyo po ba na sinabi ng NICA, ng National Intelligence Coordinating Agency, na ang budget ng NPA 2016 to 2018 ay 5.8 billion?
Yung sa,
Oo po o hindi? Ma'am, please.
ano, pwede pong pakiulit?
Ang budget daw po ng NPA is 5.8 billion. Alam niyo po ba yon? Sinabi po ng NICA.
Hindi ko po narinig yun sa
Opo.
news.
Sa palagay niyo po ba, sapat yung budget na magkano po ba ang sinasabi niyo? 500 million ba ang naibigay?
Pero yung
Kasama na po yung sa Vice President at sa DepEd.
600
Kumpara niyo po
point-
sa 5.8 billion. Sapat po ba yon?
Pero kasi yung sa nabanggit po ng NICA is mako-cover na din po nila bilang isa sila sa mga agencies with.
So alam niyo po yung sinabi ng NICA. Alam niyo po.
Hindi ko po narinig
Yung tungkol
yun
lang
sa-
po sa estudyante. Kasi alam niyo naman po, sa ngayon, ang nasa front na inilalagay ay mga estudyante. Nabalitaan niyo po ba yung mga namatay nung huli na mga estudyante?
yung violence po sa school.
Opo, ito na lang po. 8 seconds na lang po ako. January 1, 2024, sinabi po ng AFP na there is no more guerrilla active front. So, ibig sabihin po, successful.
Based po sa AFP.
Salamat po.
Senator Judge Marcos for the last intervention.
Maraming salamat, Presiding Judge. Simple lang, i-confirm ko lang sa ating testigo. So, I'd just like to confirm kung tama sabihin na as of now, there's no official finding na may fraud sa DepEd man o sa OVP. Tama po ba? No fraud finding as of now.
Kasi nga po, compliance audit lang po ginagawa namin
Tama.
sa IFAO.
Compliance audit lamang, walang fraud audit. Ikalawa, narinig kita kanina na kapag compliance audit, base sa dokumento lang. Limited kayo sa dokumentong isinabmit ng ahensya. Kung ganun, yung House of Representatives, hindi naman bahagi ng OVP or DepEd. Wala namang sinabmit sa COA, di ba? May sinabmit pa sila. Yung Congress, Committee on Good Governance, may sinabit na dokumento.
Yun po kasi based on other information na po after nilang mag-liquidate na naging na available information after the liquidation na
Pero
kinonsider po namin sa audit.
Hindi, ibig ko sabihin, yung congressional transcript ni Acosta at Fajarda, hindi yon bahagi ng dokumentong sinumite ng mga ahensya.
Pero ginamit
Wala
po
siya,
namin
di
yun.
ba?
Pero ginamit din po namin yung information na yon during our audit po.
Bakit humingi ka rin ba ng affidavit? Kasi hindi naman binigay ng agency. Kasasabi mo lang kapag compliance audit, dokumentong galing sa ahensya.
Pero yun po is relevant information po na ginamit namin for audit po, na sinama namin sa pag-audit.
Yes, following po, the presiding judge, bakit po ganon? Kanina sinabi mo, dapat dokumento na sinabmit ng ahensya. Biglang ngayon, pati transcript, pati iba pang mga katibayan na sinasabi, ginagamit na rin. Hindi na compliance audit yun, hindi ba?
Pero yun po kasi is related pa din dun sa liquidation which is discovered after the submission of the liquidation documents.
Kaya nga nalilito kami kasi bakit dinisallow lahat ng quarter samantalang pinag-uusapan ni Acosta, iisa lang, di ba? Yung last quarter lamang. Doon nga sa transcript, doon lumilitaw yon. So ngayon, tinatanggap na rin pati mga transcript at iba pa. Hindi na dokumento yon as covered by compliance audit by your own definition, hindi ba?
Pero relevant yung information po in the conduct of the audit po, in the
Kung may
proper...
relevant sa dyaryo, tatanggapin rin ninyo na ebidensya rin yon. Compliance audit pa rin yon. Kahit nasa dyaryo, nasa social media. Kung sa palagay mo may kinalaman dun sa kaso, tatanggapin ninyo.
Kasi nga po dun sa circular, pwede kaming mag-dependent sa other documents deemed necessary sa audit po.
So, pwede, miski anong dokumento. Parang lumalabo yata yung joint circular. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you. Again, that would be the last round for this witness. Ms. Eileen, salamat po sa inyong kooperasyon. Salamat sa inyong pasensya. Salamat sa pagsagot sa lahat ng tanong mula sa magkabilang panig. Gayon din mula sa mga senator judges. You are excused, ma'am, and thank you very much for your time and cooperation.
Thank you po, Your Honor.
Ingat po kayo. As I understand it, we issued subpoenas for Fajarda, Acosta, and Pareja for only up to today. Will we be issuing subpoenas for the 3 witnesses again for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, lead prosecutor?
We confirm, Your Honor. We just want to put on record that
Can you
we
place on
are-
record the order?
Yes. We are moving for the reissuance of subpoena ad testificandum for the following trial dates, August 17, 18, and 19, to the same witnesses as follows. One is Ms. Marivic Pareja, the House of Representatives Legislative Information Bureau Director. Second is Ms. Gina F. Acosta, the former Special Disbursing Officer of the OVP, or Office of the Vice President. The third is Edward Fajarda, the former Special Disbursing Officer of the Department of Education. We understand, Your Honor, that the Honorable Impeachment Court already noted the respective addresses. However, please note that the subpoena for Edward D. Fajarda must be addressed to the Office of the Vice President as well.
Yes,
Likewise, Your
because
Honor,
he's already transferred to that office.
in line with our intention as well to maximize our time in presenting the prosecution's witnesses, we are likewise requesting for the issuance of subpoena ad testificandum to Lemuel G. Ortonio, Assistant Chief of Staff of the Office of the Vice President, with the same address at OVP Office, Your Honor, in Mandaluyong City.
So this is the fourth one.
Sorry, Your Honor.
This is the fourth one.
This is the fourth one, Your Honor. And we would like to put on record as well that the written manifestation with request for subpoenas ad testificandum has been furnished to the defense and has been filed with the Office of the Clerk of Court of the Honorable Impeachment Court.
And the chair would like to remind the lead counsel to kindly furnish the counsel for the respondent any requested stipulation for documents you may want to prior to the scheduled trial of on Monday. So hopefully within the day or tomorrow, so that they can already comment on it in open court on Monday.
We submit, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Any other matter you want to take up, counsel for respondent?
Your Honor, good afternoon. I confirm receipt of the manifestation with the request for subpoenas ad testificandum for the 4 intended witnesses of the prosecution for next week. I would just like to inquire the order in which the prosecution intends to present these 4 witnesses, specifically who would be their witness on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, just for our guidance.
I believe it is in the order stated Pareja, followed by Acosta, followed by Fajarda, and then
Ortonio, Your
Ortonio.
Honor. We confirm, Your Honor.
In that order. So the subpoena for Ortonio will be issued only on 18 and 19 for sure, because surely we cannot take him up on the 17th.
Thank you for the clarity, Your Honor. Second item is that we also would like to confirm that as of today, in response to the directive of the presiding officer, we have not yet received any request for any potential stipulations or any factual stipulations the prosecution intends to ask from the defense. However, the more important manifestation that I would like to make today, Your Honor, is in relation to a social media post that I happened to see. And this was posted at 11:29 a.m. by one of the private prosecutors, Attorney Amando Virgil Ligutan, posting that a principal or lawyers and law students know by heart misleading questions are not allowed even in cross-examination. Now, this was posted and picked up by Inquirer.net at 11:29 a.m. today. And I surmise that this has something to do with the exchange between the private prosecutor, Attorney Kapunan, and the defense counsel, Attorney Ferrer, on the matter of the cross-examination question that Attorney Ferrer asked the prosecution's witness. And I have here a transcript because I find it troubling that a private prosecutor would do this in the middle of a courtroom hearing. Because as far as I'm concerned, impeachment court is also a court of decorum. And the rules on impeachment under Rule 18 actually prohibits participants, especially lawyers, from commenting about the merits of the case. Now, one may argue that this isn't about the merits of the case, that he probably was just commenting about what ought or ought not to do in a cross-examination, but we're not naive. What the private prosecutor is talking about. He's here. He can explain it. He can explain himself if the presiding officer so desires. But I really just find it in bad taste to do this at this time. And I think it is inappropriate to do that to a fellow member of the bar, because even as we sit on the opposing side of this hall, we remain to be both members of the bar, and as officers of the court, we owe each other respect, politeness, or even kindness. And it doesn't take one to be a lawyer to know that the first thing that our parents teach us to do is humility.
Your Honor.
No, I'm not yet done, Your Honor. In fact, I have asked one of our lawyers to review the actual transcript from the video that transpired between the prosecutor and Attorney Ferrer, and it would seem that in the heat of the exchange, or in the passionate exchange of the arguments between the prosecutor and Attorney Ferrer was not even actually referring to misleading questions as allowed, as implied in the social media post of Attorney Ligutan. In fact, it's here. The court can confirm this from a replay of the video. Attorney Ferrer, sinabi ho ba yan sa JC na dapat may mahuli? The witness answers, ang nakalagay po kasi sa JC under 4.8.2 ay proof of success. Attorney Ferrer, hindi. Sorry, Your Honor, please. Attorney Kapunan, let the witness answer, Your Honor. Mr. Presiding Officer, can the counsel be instructed not to stop the witness mid-sentence, Your Honor? Attorney Ferrer, Your Honor, please, can the witness be directed to just answer with yes or no? The counsel has her time to ask clarificatory questions later during redirect, Your Honor. And Attorney Kapunan, not all questions can be answered by yes or no. This is the meat of the contention of the argument between Attorney Kapunan and Attorney Ferrer. Attorney Ferrer responded, I am on cross, Your Honor, please. And the presiding officer said, counsels. Attorney Kapunan responded, never mind if you are on cross, Your Honor. There are limits to cross-examination. Misleading questions are not allowed on cross. This was the first time that the matter on misleading questions was actually raised by Attorney Kapunan. And Attorney Ferrer, for some reason, said they are allowed, but she was pertaining to the fact that the questions to which a yes or no answer may be answerable are allowed. She's not referring to misleading. I mean, in effect, Attorney Ferrer was only saying that leading questions are allowed on cross-examination, not misleading questions, and yet we have a private prosecutor immediately taking to social media and posting this, implying something against the defense counsel. We will not have this.
Your Honor, in the interest of fair play, may I request that the counsel for the panel of prosecutors, Attorney Virgil Ligutan, be recognized, Your Honor.
Unfortunately, counsel, no, the presiding officer will not allow that at this time. The presiding officer takes in advisement the manifestation of the counsel, the lead counsel for the respondent, because quite frankly, Honorable Luistro, I asked the clerk of court to monitor the public statements of the counsels of the parties this past week. And one side has been crossing the line many times. And in fact, the presiding officer is already in the process of drafting a ruling and a warning and an order pertaining to this. Because clearly, I can even name all of you who have been commenting on social media in violation of Rule 18 of the impeachment rules. But I will do that on Monday, perhaps, after taking advisement the manifestation of the counsel for respondent. It's not really so much being cordial or nice or kind, but it's a basic violation of Rule 18. I already talked to the parties 2 weeks ago, reminding you that you might want to consider appointing spokespersons who are not part of the panel of prosecutors nor a private prosecutor, but you insist on maintaining that. So after 2 weeks, the court is constrained to make a decision and ruling on that. But we will do that on Monday with the permission of both counsels. Then we will hear you, counsel, and we will hear Attorney Ligutan prior to the court's ruling on the matter. But be advised that again, we have it all on tape. We have been monitoring everything. We may not enumerate it one by one, but we will make the corresponding ruling on Monday. Thank you for bringing that up, counsel. It gives me a reason to actually issue the ruling, which we have prepared and have been preparing the past few days. On Monday, Attorney Ligutan, we will hear you before we make the ruling. Thank you. There being no other matter to be taken up by the trial and by the court, we hereby adjourn until Monday, August 17, still at 10 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.